Okay, I have to paint a dream world hypothetical scenario here for you guys, just to sort of give you a sense of what it's like from the guy's perspective. So we're going to create a dream world, since, let's be honest, like, unless as a guy you're super famous, girls just don't hit up guys like in the example I'm about to provide. In the real world, like, the vast majority of men who go out to parties, clubs, bars, straight up get ignored if they don't make the first move. So this is a hypothetical scenario. I want you guys to listen to this. Would you be okay with your long-term monogamous partner going to a nightclub, bar, or party type environment where throughout the course of the night, he's going to get approached, flirted with, and sexually pursued by numerous attractive women, some of which are more attractive than you and could potentially be a better partner than you? These women are buying him drinks, maybe getting him drunk, and enthusiastically want to sleep with him that night and steal him away from you. It also just happens to be the case that maybe you guys had an argument earlier on in the day and his single manho friends are rallying, being a bad influence, however you want to take that. Maybe they're not a huge fan of you because you've been, hanging out with him a little bit more. Would you be okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
You'd be okay with that scenario?
The thing is, I think at the end of the day, it's about trust. And if you break that trust and those boundaries that you set beforehand going into that, then it's like, no matter how long the relationship is, it's clear that that's not your person. And that's just, if they're willing to break those boundaries, then that's not really like, the person for you.
If he breaks my trust, then I don't want him, and I'm like, okay, thank you. Now it's time for the next. Like, now I can like figure out what I want and what I don't want, and I'm one step closer to finding like the right person.
And then a guy will show you his true intentions if he's put in that situation. Like, if you don't control him, he will show you the kind of man he is. So if he is put in that situation, you'll see the kind of man he is.
Because the thing is also, there's always going to be people trying to get at you or trying to get at your boyfriend. It's about how you or they react. It's not about the other people. Like,
I agree.
It's just about your reaction. That's why I also like never understand why like girls will beat down other girls when their boyfriend was in the wrong in like a situation like that, if the girl didn't know, of course. I just think it's really stupid how like girls like blindly go like fighting the other girl instead of like breaking up with their boyfriend or talking to him about it. I think it's really stupid.
I agree.
Love is blind.
I'm trying to, I don't think I'm going to be able to convince you guys on this one, but I'm trying to think if there's another. So what do you guys think about if your partner was going to hang out alone with someone of the opposite sex at night, alone at their place? Any issues there?
Why are they doing it?
Why would they?
They're just friends. They're just friends. You trust. What about the trust, guys? We're talking about trust.
Did they ask if I wanted to come?
No, no, it's just a one-on-one hangout. They're friends,
I think personally, if it's a friend that I have met and that I know and that isn't just like out of nowhere, like has never been mentioned before, then that would be fine. I would kind of be a little bit skeptical, but that trust is still there at the end of the day. That's what relationships have, right? But if they do break the trust, like I've said before, then that's on them and that's the path that they want to take, and then it would just be time for me to move on and kind of figure out someone else who I can put my actual trust into.
I think no matter what, with all of these situations, at least that you're giving us, it's all seemingly about like the opposite side. Obviously, we've all said, yeah, go ahead, like do whatever. But in reality, it's like, no matter what, it's about control. And so from other people's perspectives, I guess, like, no matter what, if we don't say, yeah, you can go do whatever you want, that's looking at us like we're being controlling. And no matter what, men aren't going to like that, unless they, want a controlling woman, if you're into that. But I don't know. I just feel like you can't really win in a situation like this because, yeah, I can go ahead and say, oh, yeah, go ahead, like, go have a sleepover with your girlfriend that and I don't care, but sure, I care. But I'm not saying I'm going to control you. You can do whatever you want, no matter what. They're going to do what they want to do.
You would feel a certain type of way about that.
I feel like it honestly just depends on like their friendship, because again, like you were saying was like if I knew them and I like know they're close friends and I've met them and we have a good relationship, obviously I'd be like, go ahead.
Yeah,
like I have no issue with that. But if it's some random girl, they're like, oh yeah, like we've been friends for years, but we've been dating for 7 months and I've never heard of her. No.
Yeah,
Like-
it's kind of like, where did she come from?
Yeah.
She came
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Yeah,
What about-
it depends on the circumstances, I
Yeah.
guess.
What about hanging out with an ex? We'll go around the table on this. So would you be okay with your boyfriend hanging out with his ex-girlfriend? So they're still friends. Go ahead. We'll start here.
I think that's disrespectful.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be okay with that, but I also wouldn't do it. So again, it goes both ways.
It honestly really depends, because it's like a little different. Like, what if they're in the same friend group and it's like a friend thing, you know, like with multiple people? That's one thing. I think it really just depends on the situation, but like in general, I feel like I would be pretty uncomfortable with it. But also, it could be something different, because I've had experiences where dating people in the same friend group. So,
Okay.
Absolutely. I feel like it depends on the situation, because again, with being in the same friend group, it's like if they dated like 8 years ago and yeah, you're hanging out in the same friend group now, no issue. But if you guys, let's say you started dating them a month ago and they broke up like a month before you guys started dating, yeah, no way. Like that's weird.
So I don't know, because I'm thinking about it. My last relationship, we were on and off for 8 years and maintained being best friends when we were not, and we went and dated other people during that time. We officially got into a relationship. We're together for 1.5 years. We broke up. I ended up moving here, and he's still one of my best friends. And I've even talked about saying, hey, like when you get married to someone or when you start dating someone, please make sure they're okay with us being friends, because you mean a lot to me. You are one of my very dearest friends, and I do not want to lose you when you start dating someone else. And I know that he will. And so that's where I don't really know how to answer that question, because I'm in a different situation there.
Let me ask you a question on that. So you guys were on and off again for 8 years, you said?
Yeah.
But you guys are not currently on?
No, we are not.
Okay. So let's say the man of your dreams comes around and he has an issue with you being friends with this guy.
Then he's not the man of my dreams.
Okay, so you're going to side with staying friends with your ex?
Well, think about it this way. If he said the same exact thing to my best girlfriend, like if somebody's telling me to not have a certain person who's been in my life for a considerable amount of time, that's going to be something I have to think about. Why are they coming to me asking that? Are they coming from a place of insecurity? Did I do something to create that insecurity, or is it just in them?
I mean, there's a certain impropriety though, because if it was just a platonic male friend and there was never any history of anything, but you guys were on again, off again for 8 years, who knows down the, sorry, getting tongue tied here. Who knows down the path if something rekindles there? You guys were on again, off again. I mean, not only that, it's just kind of like you were intimate with another man. You were intimate with this other guy. So you guys he's going to be at the wedding. And this is someone that you previously fucked, like, excuse my French, but it's just like, it's a sort of impropriety. Like if this is the guy you're going to marry, I don't know.
Well, it also wouldn't be like, it would, I would also make sure that, when you're introducing your friends to your significant other, that would be one of those friends that I introduce. And and the guy that I was with, if I was introducing him to this person, I would make sure he knew all of the history, so there's nothing hidden there. But that's also something that I just don't think I can answer right now, because I'm not in that situation, but I don't know what I would do.
But so you would let everything else, the guy of your dreams, you would let him go if he didn't want you seeing your ex-boyfriend?
I am saying that I would not be able to answer that right now, because I'm not in a place where I could say yes or no, because this is talking about a friendship that I've had for over 10 years.
Sure.
So I cannot answer that.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I have a sense that a lot of men would have an issue with that, with someone remaining friends with someone that were sleeping with for any period of time.
But that brings in why communication is so important in relationships. Communication about everything, including your past, about what's happened in the past.
That's totally fine. But it might be a deal breaker for guys too.
I'll just have to cross that bridge when I'm there.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
Personally, I don't think I would be comfortable with it, just because your ex is like, obviously dating someone for a month, you don't get to kind of explore each other deep down, but you'd still share those like intimate moments, like sex, like that's intimate. Like you've seen like your partner naked. It's close. So I personally wouldn't be comfortable with it, but I mean, I guess it's just situational.
I kind of agree as well. I feel like if I was in that situation where I had a boyfriend, he says, let me introduce you to this girl I've known for 8 years, and we on and off.
Yeah.
But we're still friends, and we're going to stay close friends throughout our relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it would make me uncomfortable, but again, maybe that's just not the person for me. If I'm not comfortable with something like
Closer
that.
to the mic.
Just, not a person I would want to be with in the first place.
Also, seeing, like, where I grew up, people kind of dated in friend groups a lot, and it's really difficult to kind of let your ex go even when you're dating someone new, especially when you're around each other so much, just because that comfortability is there, and that's just what it's easy to go back to. So it's difficult for sure. I mean, I can see how you could be friends with someone after and set those boundaries, but I think there's higher chance of like rekindling something or going a step further than just friends.
I agree with that. I think you can be on good terms with an ex.
Absolutely,
but regularly hanging out with them.
Yeah.
And also just to get over the person, I think there does need to be certainly a period of time of no contact. Anyways.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I feel like it kind of would just like depend on the situation. For the scenario.
Were you born in the U.S.? You have
yeah.
a slight accent, so.
I was born in the U.S., but both of my parents are from Bulgaria.
Okay, so you speak Bulgarian?
Yeah.
Okay. Does someone at this table speak French?
I do.
Ah, okay. Bonjour, ça va?
Oui, ça va.
C'est bien ça? Tu es... you speak better French than me. Hold on. You're fluent? Or
I'm
conversational?
Fluent. My speaking is like so sometimes, but everything else, yeah.